Hey guys, it's Tom from Velocity here, back in the showroom again with another stunning Ford Bronco built by Velocity Restorations. This one is finished in Seafoam green. You may have seen me talk about this color before. It is our most popular new color. Don't let the name deceive you. I always talk about confusing names. It isn't really a green. It's a super light blue with a tiny tint of green within it, but what it makes for is an absolutely stunning paint color, a really classic paint color, very neutral. Guys love this color, girls love this color. It is really nice, especially when accented with our Ranger package, which I will talk you through now. The Ranger package is really like our classic look, so it's a package that you can get if you want to make the Bronco look even more classic than it already does. It includes the powder coated front bumpers, the powder coated wheels, and they're the steely wheels rather than the bullet holes, so they look more classic. The decals down the side of the vehicle, which are the classic Ranger stripes, they're also on the top of the hood. And then you've got a roll cage painted in white and a completely different interior that we're going to get onto in a second. This vehicle is also up-spec'd, so it features a couple of things that you don't always see in our vehicles. The first thing is going to be the exterior billet package. So side mirrors, door handles, fuel cap, all these little things and fixtures have become billet. And what billet is it's basically an upgrade to the standard OEM components. These are super strong components. They look great. They have a slightly different design, but it's mainly about how they feel. They feel a lot more premium. The way they actually operate and actuate is really nice. And the way that these side mirrors actually move through the air, one of the things with the OEM side mirrors is they have quite a lot of vibration. These upgraded billet side mirrors completely negate that. So that's a really nice option too. Underneath this vehicle, we've got a brand new Roadster Shop chassis. So this is a brand new framed vehicle, as well as, of course, all the other components on it are brand new. But brand new Roadster Shop chassis. We've got a leaf spring in the back, coil in the front. Why do we do that? Well, it's the best on-road driving suspension setup we have without spending absolutely tons and crazy money to go to independent front suspension. We do have that option too if you want it, and you can build a truck like this with it. But for 95% of people, you don't need it. And my recommendation always to anybody who says, oh, I bet that truck doesn't drive that great, come and see it. Come and drive it. Watch the videos of me driving it. We do test drives everywhere. Anybody can walk in and test drive any one of our vehicles in this showroom. You will see when you experience it, when you watch those videos, me driving and cornering 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, no problem whatsoever on this suspension setup. Don't let other people fool you. These are daily drivable vehicles, 100%. It's why they cost the money they do. Come around the back of the truck and you are going to see that the Ranger package continues with this white powder coated bumper, as well as the Ford lettering in the back to match. And again, even that red pinstripe that you'll see around the rest of the decal package is there too. It's a really nice looking back of a truck, really good looking color, and that just continues all the way along the tailgate. Drop the tailgate down, and you're going to see the first peek of the interior, but I want to talk about this material really quickly first. It's called Raptor lining. It is a truck bed lining. It's actually on the underside of the vehicle and in the engine bay too. Basically anywhere that isn't finished in the metallic paint, in the actual paint, is going to be this matching Raptor color. It's really nice, but super hard wearing. You can't scratch it, you can't scuff it, you can throw your bags up in here, throw your luggage up in here, and you don't have to worry. You can either sit on it if you want to do that for tailgating and things like that. Super usable. You've also got a little floor mat in the back here too, just to tie everything together. But let's move on to looking at the interior. All right, opening up, and you will see that the Ranger package continues. So the seafoam and white and kind of woven, all these materials are coming together now to create what is an absolutely stunning aesthetic for this vehicle. We'll start by touching on the door card. You're going to see that these are upgraded door cards. They're not standard looking door cards. There's a couple of things that we have changed. Obviously the main one is that Ranger package. The insert here comes into the door card too and actually goes all the way down into the pocket. So no corners are skipped over on our vehicles. This is a really nice design, really nice pattern that continues for the rest of the interior. I mentioned billet exterior components. This vehicle also has billet interior components. So this door cup, the door handle, and of course this window regulator, all of this is finished in billet, made by us here at Velocity. That's why it's got the Velocity logo in it on our own 5-axis machine. This stuff feels super premium. It's really nice to touch, really nice to use. Feels heavy duty, feels very high quality. The other thing I want to point out is this does look like a standard window regulator, but actually it's fully electric. All of our vehicles come with electric windows. We just keep them looking classic. So if I push this up and the vehicle was on, this vehicle would, the window would come up, right? So there's an actuation. This is just a lever so that you can operate the electric windows. Final thing to note on the door card is going to be the speaker. You've got a full focal speaker system in here, which we'll talk about more in a second, but that is built into the door card too. Stepping into the vehicle is very easy. Why? Because all of our lifted four-wheel drive vehicles have powered side steps. Really, really nice option when you're not in use, so when the door's shut or when you're moving, they fold away and hide underneath the vehicle so we don't ruin the vintage aesthetic of the truck, but they make it super usable, super easy to get in and out of the trucks. In front of me, I've got a wooden steering wheel, really, really nice, very classic, very, very easy to hold and use, feels really nice, looks really nice, does the job brilliantly. Behind that, tilt steering column, so really, really nice option there, just for people that maybe are a bit taller or a bit bigger, gives you the flexibility rather than a fixed steering column, which sometimes you see on vehicles like this, but full adjustable from a steering column perspective. Behind that, I've got a Dakota digital dash made by the guys at Dakota specifically for us at Velocity. The Velocity Flying V is in there, and you're going to notice this little screen. This screen gives you even more information than you would normally have on a vehicle of this era. So things like remaining fuel mileage, some pressure, you get warnings if there is anything there that comes up in that screen, as well as your odometer and things like that. And actually, there is a button underneath the dash that allows you to chop and change and choose different items and things that you may want to see on that little screen. Doesn't ruin the look of the truck, but just gives you some more information there. Then all of the rest of your normal things, your battery, your fuel, all that other good stuff is in the gauges on around the outside. So a really nice looking, a very classic instrument cluster there. That's a really, really nice option. Let's talk about the rest of this interior then, and the first thing I want to draw you to are these woven inserts. They look absolutely amazing, especially with this white leather. It's a bamboo weave, and that means it's really, really durable and really breathable. It just finishes the car off, and especially with this Ranger package, again, it just makes it look that touch above, that a bit more classic. It's a really nice option. The top of the Tuffy box is also covered in that, and this is a really nice soft cushion, perfectly at elbow height, so you've got a nice armrest there. This Tuffy box is fully lockable, right? So it's got loads and loads of depth in there. You can store your valuables in there if you go to the beach. And then when you want to leave the vehicle, again, given that it's an open top, non-enclosed vehicle, you can lock that down. You've got a phone slot, 2 USB chargers, USB 3.0 and USB-C, and 2 drinks holders there, all as part of this one unit. Next thing I want to touch on is the mats. So as part of the Ranger package, the mats are actually a full transmission tunnel cover mat, so they come all the way across the floor. In our normal Broncos without the Ranger package, it's just 2 mats, one on either side, but this is one mat that comes all the way across. It just, again, heightens the sense of classic, of vintage, just really makes the truck look very, very, very special. Leather continues around your gear gaiters here. As I like to say, I think that phrase is used, but in the UK we would call these gear gaiters. And so what they do is just give you that extra little bit of look, protection. These are your high and low range, your 4-wheel drive. The vehicle does have that fully functional. And again, because we've got that billet package on there for the interior, these fittings at the top are also made in-house and are finished in billet. As is the AC controls, these 3 options here, these 3. So really, really nice. They feel great. Those caps are fully billet, made by the guys here at Velocity. The AC system is a brand new vintage air AC system. What does that mean, Tom? Well, it means that the AC works really well all the time and is super cold or super hot, depending on what you need. Here in Florida, 9 times out of 10, you want it to be cold. And so you've got 4 vents that are going to blow really ice cold air at you. It doesn't feel like the original AC system at all. It is very, very modern and makes it feel really, really nice. Even in an open top vehicle like this, you are going to want the AC blowing on you when it's hot and you're driving the truck, and it works fantastically well. What also works really well is your sound system. And you're going to notice this head unit here. By a company called Retro Sound. It's a retro sound radio, and it's got all the modern functionality, but packaged and made to look like a classic radio. So this is fully Bluetooth, powering the full Focal sound system that we talked about earlier. Sub underneath this seat, super high volume. You've got a microphone here, so you can take calls, make calls, all that good stuff. If you did want to add the Apple CarPlay to this vehicle, that is an upgrade that we can do, even though the vehicle's completed. So if you wanted that fitted for you, we could do that. It adds a full touchscreen Apple CarPlay. Honestly though, for this spec, in my opinion, I would keep it exactly as it is. We've made this truck to look as classic and as vintage as possible. And I think if you start introducing too many screens and things, that might take away from the style of this particular build. But anyway, that's my personal preference. You've got lights, you've got wipe wash, you've got all that good stuff. And again, finished, all of these little fixtures here are finished in the billet, which just feels really nice to touch and actuate. Top of the dash pad again is covered in leather, and it's absolutely stitch perfect. Looks absolutely amazing. Just brings that color. You got the leather, you got the dash here, finishing the Seafoam, then the leather again. All these colors are working really, really well together in tandem. Final thing I want to talk about is the bikini top. This is also colored in a matching fabric, really, really nice. It's waterproof, so it's going to give you some resistance if there is a light shower, things like that, especially for you as a driver and the passenger. But it mainly is actually used to give you shade. So especially when it's hot like it is is here. This is just going to keep the sun off you as you're driving along, give you a bit more of an enclosed cabin feeling, but you can fully remove this. There's poppers here that you can see, you just take it off if you want to. Back seats, there's lots of leg room, another floor mat, and those seats actually fully lock and tumble forward. So if you do need more room for golf clubs or further luggage or things like that, you can actually lock and fold that back seat, back bench all the way forward to give you extra room. All right, let's open up this hood. And of course, it's a Velocity Bronco, and that means it features the 3rd generation Coyote. This engine produces around 460 horsepower, and in this model, in the Bronco, that means the truck will do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. For those who know, that is fast for a vehicle of this sort of size and stature, but it does that just because that engine has so much performance, and the way we engineer it, mated the tune to the 10-speed 10R80 automatic transmission behind it, just means that these trucks drive incredibly well. It's not just about going fast though, it's also about maintenance and reliability. And given it is a crate engine from Ford and it is brand new, it's used in their Mustangs and their F-150s, it's super, super reliable, and service maintenance is very, very, very easy. Any Ford dealer will be able to work on this truck, which is crazy if you think about the amount of engineering. But the guys here at Velocity, we design this engine bay, we design our service manuals, so it makes it really easy to look after these vehicles. You don't have to go to a specialist or anything like that. You can really take it anywhere that you trust to work on a vehicle of this price point will be able to service that engine. It's not just about going fast either, it's also about being able to slow down. And so you'll notice you've got a full Willwood hydro boosted disc brake system, so disc brakes all round on all of our vehicles, just to cope if you do need to stop in a hurry. This vehicle will do it no problem at all. Headers are completely custom by Velocity. We always like to talk about that, as is the serpentine system. And all of those things, coupled with a number of little fittings and fixtures that I won't point out here, give it the OEM look. You know, this engine was never designed to be in this engine bay. It's a tight engine bay, but what you'll notice is it kind of looks like it was meant to be there. And that's just to do with the diligence of the engineers here and how we put everything together. And also we've built over 500 of these Broncos, so we really know what has to go into these trucks to make them work and operate as you would expect as a customer. A couple of other things I want to point on. Paint finish, I mentioned Raptor in the back of the truck and on the underside of the truck. It's here on the fenders now too. So anywhere that you see this kind of rougher material, that's Raptor lining, just gives the engine bay that protection. Top of the firewall has been painted, and the underside of the hood, which is often missed by builders, has also been painted. So all of this just comes together to make it a really uniform looking, pretty engine bay, which is a funny thing to say about an engine bay, but it does look really, really good. Guys, there's a ton of other things that we don't always cover in these videos. I know you always have more questions. If you are interested in this vehicle, you want to ask me something, please get in touch. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment below. If you're watching on Instagram, drop us a comment or send us a DM. And if you're on the website watching this and you're looking at the web pages, there's loads more photos on the page you're looking at, and there's a contact form at the bottom. So if you've got any more questions, hit that contact form or give us a call on the number and we'll speak to you. I'd love to answer more of your questions. It's a really, really gorgeous truck. This is a perfect example of what we do best at Velocity. Built over 500 of these Broncos. This one is no different. Finished in Seafoam metallic, our most popular new color. This one will not stick around long. We always have one of these in build only because somebody always wants to buy them. We've sold about 15, 20 of this colorway this year. It is incredibly popular, and for good reason, just because it looks so gorgeous when combined with that Ranger package. And that's the white details and the decals and the interior that you saw earlier. So a really, really nice option. This vehicle has a 2-year bumper-to-bumper warranty. So a full white glove bumper-to-bumper warranty by us here. That's everything all the way through the vehicle is warranted. So if you do have any problems, you know we are right there with you every step of the way. We build about 150 of these vehicles a year, but we don't always have them in stock. And this is the only Seafoam Bronco we have right now. So if you are interested, please do not hesitate to reach out. And like I said, any more questions, please just ask. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll speak to you next time.